Good morning, students. Here we come up with the embryology lecture of umbilical cord. So therefore, in this topic, umbilical cord, maybe it can be asked as a short note, or so many MCQs are there as in the form of contents of umbilical cord. So we try and understand the definition of umbilical cord, including its measurements. The entire umbilical cord is a cord-like structure, cord-like tubular structure, which will be connected on one side. It is connected to the anterior abdominal wall of the fetus, anterior abdominal wall of the fetus on one side, and on other side, opposite side, it will be attached to the fetal surface of the placenta. It will be attached to the fetal surface of the placenta. Now this tubular cord-like structure will be enveloped by amniotic membrane. So it is enveloped by completely amniotic membrane. It will be a glistening amniotic membrane which will cover the entire umbilical cord. Now the measurements. In the measurements, the total length of umbilical cord at maturity will be 50 centimeters. And the breadth will be around 2 centimeters. So this is the total length, 50 centimeters till at adult stage, that is mature level. Now the formation. Now as we have drawn, this is the standard diagram which we are drawing. This will be our standard diagram. So therefore, head fold, tail fold, amnioectodermal junction, we know this entire, and structure here we will call this as the head fold, this will be the tail fold, this is the amnioectodermal junction, and the entire amniotic cavity which will surround the folding of the embryo. So this diagram is the sagittal section of the umbilical cord. Now here, as the head is folded, tail is folded, lateral folds, amnioectodermal junction, which is an important part, amnioectodermal junction, will fold during the folding of embryo in such a way that it will form the primitive umbilical opening. So therefore, this region will be known as primitive umbilical opening at the fetal side. So therefore, now this entire area, I can name this entire area as the primitive umbilical opening. I am writing it in a lighter way so that we can draw the constituents of umbilical cord. So this is the primitive umbilical opening where amnioectodermal junction will fold. Now this happens during the folding of embryo, which already we have understood, head fold, tail fold, and the right and the left lateral fold. So during this foldings of embryo, the amnioectodermal junction will form primitive umbilical opening, and this primitive umbilical opening here will enclose connecting stalk. So connecting stalk will serve as the core, and this connecting stalk here, if I draw this entire region will be the connecting stalk present here. So this connecting stalk will form the core. This is the connecting stalk, which is enclosed by the amnion. And this amnion, the amniotic membrane, the amnion will enclose this entire connecting stalk, where at the primitive umbilical opening. How does it enclose? Because of the folding of amnioectodermal junction. When this folding of amnioectodermal junction will take place during the natural foldings of the embryo. So during the foldings of embryo, head fold, tail fold, and the lateral foldings of embryo, the amnioectodermal junction will play an important role in formation of primitive umbilical opening, and at the same time, it will enclose the connecting stalk which is present at the tail end of the embryo, which is shifted here at the primitive umbilical opening. And it will enclose this connecting stalk in such a way that it will form a membrane, and this membrane is covered by amnion, and therefore this tubular structure which will be formed, which will be developed, will be known as umbilical cord. So therefore, now here I will draw this ring, I will draw so that this is the umbilical cord. Now, this umbilical cord development we have understood. So here in this point, next point was the development, where you just have to add 2 points which already I have discussed. Amnioectodermal junction will fold during the foldings of embryo to form primitive umbilical opening, and it will enclose the connecting stalk as the cord. And therefore a cord-like structure is created, is developed, which will be covered by amnion. Which will be covered by amnion. This is the development of umbilical cord. Now comes the most important segment of umbilical cord. The most important segment, please note down, contents. 5 contents. Each content we have to name and we have to mark. Because these contents can be asked in 1 mark question answer and MCQs also. So this topic is very much helpful in fetching 1 mark MCQs or maybe short question answer, etc. Now the contents we are going to draw here. The first content we have already observed. What is this? Connecting stalk. So we are going to mark here connecting stalk. Let us give it number 1, connecting stalk. This connecting stalk will undergo mucoid degeneration and it is converted into a mucoid jelly like substance. So therefore it is later on it is known as Wharton's jelly. So please write here Wharton's jelly. This is content number 1. The first content of the umbilical cord. Wharton's jelly, that is same as the degenerated segment of connecting stalk. Please note down. Both are one and the same. Wharton's jelly or connecting stalk. Second segment. Second content will be umbilical arteries and umbilical veins. Here, always note down, 2 umbilical arteries and 2 umbilical veins are there, out of which the right umbilical vein will disappear. So we are left with only 1 umbilical vein, that is left umbilical vein. So therefore we are going to draw the 2 umbilical arteries and 1 umbilical vein. For the umbilical arteries, we will use blue color because they carry impure blood. So therefore here we are going to show with this blue color the umbilical arteries. And we are going to show 1 umbilical vein. We are going to use red color for umbilical vein because they carry pure blood. So umbilical vein, we are going to show this is umbilical vein. Therefore, we are going to mark here. This is where we are going to mark umbilical vessels. Please note down the umbilical vessels. Now, in umbilical vessels, what you need to mention will be 2 umbilical arteries, 1 umbilical vein. The 2 umbilical arteries in later life, after birth, will be converted into superior vesical arteries. The entire umbilical arteries, right and left, both the umbilical arteries, they will degenerate. But which segment of umbilical arteries will degenerate? The distal segment of umbilical arteries will degenerate, but the proximal segment after birth will persist as superior vesical arteries. What about umbilical vein? Left umbilical vein, which is the vein which we have drawn here, the left umbilical vein after birth is converted into ligamentum teres. It is called ligamentum teres hepatis. These 2 sentences you have to mention. Now content number 3. We are coming to content number 3. Content number 1 was connecting stalk or Wharton's jelly. Content number 2, umbilical vessels. Content number 3. During the folding, now here I will show you the folding. If I show you this umbilical vesicle, first I will show you here, this will be the umbilical vesicle and vitellointestinal duct, and then this was the midgut and then the hindgut, and this segment of hindgut, so this way. This diverticulum which I have drawn, which we have already learned, allantoenteric diverticulum, or it is called allantoic diverticulum. So therefore, this diverticulum, which is known as allantoic diverticulum, the distal part of allantoic diverticulum is a content of the umbilical cord, and this distal part of allantoic diverticulum here in future will be converted into urachus, and proximal part of this allantoic diverticulum in future will be attached to the apex of urinary bladder. So therefore, allantoic diverticulum here, I will write down distal part of allantoic diverticulum is content number 3 of umbilical cord. Content number 3 of umbilical cord is the distal part of allantoic diverticulum, and here I am going to mark it in this way. And one sentence which you need to add will be, in the later life, the distal part of allantoic diverticulum will be fibrosed to form urachus. Content number 3. Once again, content number 1, connecting stalk or Barton's jelly. Content number 2, there will be umbilical vessels. Content number 3, distal part of allantoenteric diverticulum. Content number 4. Now in content number 4, vitello-intestinal duct. We know during the folding of embryo, the yolk sac will be folded deep inside in the fold to form the entire gut tube. So this gut tube later on will be divided into foregut, this will be midgut, and this will be hindgut. We have already discussed this previously. So therefore, the connecting portion between umbilical vesicle, this is umbilical vesicle, and midgut, this connecting portion here is known as vitello-intestinal duct. This vitello-intestinal duct, later on, it will disappear. So in the later part of the fetal stage, it will disappear along with the umbilical vesicle. Content number 4. And now comes the last content. The last content I am going to write down over here, content number 5. This you write down as communication between, it is communication between extra-embryonic coelom and intra-embryonic coelom. Now here, try and understand. This is the last segment, this is the last content. The entire folding of the embryo at the primitive umbilical ring. Now here, it will be surrounded by extra-embryonic coelom. So therefore, the entire connecting stalk, this is the connecting stalk, will be surrounded by extra-embryonic coelom. So I will draw here. If I draw here, this is the extra-embryonic coelom. This portion here, cavity, is extra-embryonic coelom. Similarly over here, this portion will be the extra-embryonic coelom surrounding outside. So the extra-embryonic coelom will surround the entire vitello-intestinal duct, the connecting stalk, etc. from outside. And this extra-embryonic coelom is surrounding, and it will be till around 10th week. Now during this till 10th week, what will happen is the extra-embryonic coelom, which is surrounding this connecting stalk and vitello-intestinal duct, will receive loop of midgut. This midgut will extend outside in the umbilical cord as U-shaped loop. And how do we draw that U-shaped loop? Here we will draw this entire U-shaped loop and connect it with the vitello-intestinal duct. So this midgut here will be present in this way. It will have the entire midgut as U-shaped. This will be connected with vitellointestinal duct. So this is vitellointestinal duct which will be connected with umbilical vesicle. So here this is umbilical vesicle, this is vitellointestinal duct, and this is the U-shaped loop. This U-shaped loop of midgut will pass outside through the umbilical opening into the extra-embryonic coelom. Till here, this loop will extend till extra-embryonic coelom, but it will extend through this umbilical cord. Nothing, very simple. It is basically the U-shaped loop of midgut. This midgut will have the U-shaped loop. Now, if I draw it in this manner, it will be the most appropriate. Now, this is how the loop is passing outside, and this is how I will draw. So therefore, now this forms the entire loop of midgut, which is passing in the umbilical cord, and it will come and approximate in extra-embryonic coelom. When will this loop of midgut persist? This loop of midgut will persist till 10th week only. So therefore, till 10th week, this loop of midgut, U-shaped loop of midgut, which will be a content of umbilical cord, which will serve as a communication between extra-embryonic and intra-embryonic coelom, will be known as, this structure will be known as physiological umbilical hernia. So here it is appropriate to mention that this communication will persist in the form of physiological umbilical hernia, and this will remain approximately between 6th week to 10th week. After 10th week, what will happen is this physiological umbilical hernia will reduce. Once again, it will be pushed back into the abdominal cavity of the fetus. The physiological umbilical hernia will be reduced after 10th week of development of the fetus, and extra-embryonic coelom will disappear. So up till 10th week, this 5th content of umbilical cord will remain. So what is this 5th content? Nothing. It is a communication between extra-embryonic and intra-embryonic coelom. But basically, what is it? Basically, it is nothing but between 6th and 10th week of development of embryo, the midgut will pass through the umbilical opening in the form of a U-shaped loop. U-shaped loop. And it will serve as the 5th content of the umbilical cord. And it will approximate, it will come in approximation with extra-embryonic coelom. After, and this particular U-shaped loop will be known as physiological umbilical hernia. One more question here. What is physiological umbilical hernia? And immediately after 10th week of development, this physiological umbilical hernia will reduce, because this, once again, the midgut will pass into the abdominal cavity and extra-embryonic coelom will disappear. This much you have to understand about the contents of umbilical cord, which we are going to draw again. One more diagram you have to show. So what are the contents here? Very simple. First content, connecting stalk or Walton's jelly. Second content, umbilical vessels, only 3 umbilical vessels. Then the third content will be the distal part of the elentoenteric diverticulum, which will be fibrous to form urachus. Fourth content, the fourth content was vitellointestinal duct. Later on, this vitellointestinal duct in later part of fetal life will also disappear. Sometimes it persists as Meckel's diverticulum at the anti-mesenteric border of the ileum. And fifth content, communication between intra and extra-embryonic coelom. Nothing, not very complicated. It is very simple. Midgut loop, which is a U-shaped loop, will pass outside between 6th week and 10th week as a content of umbilical cord, which is known as physiological umbilical hernia. And immediately after 10th week, it will reduce. So physiological umbilical hernia will be reduced, and therefore extra-embryonic coelom disappears. Now we come on this side. Here we will show, this is another diagram which you need to show. Cross section of umbilical cord. Very simple. So this cross section of umbilical cord, the outside, these are the amniotic cells. The thickened margin which I have drawn, these are the amniotic cells covered by amnion. So it is amnion which contains amniotic cells. So this covering is amnion, or it is amniotic membrane, which are lined by amniotic cells, amniogenic cells or amniotic cells. Now inside you show with green color connecting stalk. So this is the connecting stalk. This entire structure will be Wharton's jelly. So therefore here we are going to write it as Wharton's jelly. Connecting stalk which has undergone mucoid degeneration to form Wharton's jelly. Then we have to show the two umbilical arteries, blue color. So we are going to show these two umbilical arteries. So these are the two umbilical arteries, and here you give this color here. And similarly, we are going to show one umbilical vein. So therefore here we are going to show this as umbilical vein. And therefore we are going to mark these as umbilical arteries too. Later on they will be representing the superior vesical artery, and this will be umbilical vein. Later on it will be fibrosed into ligamentum teres hepatis. And then here distal part of elentric diverticulum, which need not be shown here, urachus, and also the pitulo-intestinal duct also need not be shown, and the physiological umbilical hernia also need not be shown. Now basically this diagram is the histological diagram of umbilical cord, which routinely in the histology laboratory you get the slides in which you have to identify the slide of umbilical cord based upon 2 points. Number one, first point will be there will be two umbilical arteries and one umbilical vein, and second point will be lots of interstices which is filled with mucoid degenerative tissue which is called Wharton's jelly. So here we finish the entire umbilical cord. Thank you very much.